Hello, you beautiful beings. Sorry, I have pasties from my cacao. This is part two to a video called It's Not Complicated, which that's probably why you are here. And I'm gonna just finish that sentence. If you're coming straight directly from that video, I was saying it's not complicated. Whatever our next step is not complicated. Forgive me while I just drop back in here. I was just stretching my legs out. I had no storage on my computer, and I had to delete a bunch of past videos that I hadn't yet posted. But it felt like guided. It felt like I had to let that go. I had to let those parts of me go so that I could let this new self be reborn. So there's a message in there for someone. I'm going to finish reading this card because I only read part of it in the last one. Totally accidental. Anyways, I'll read it right from the beginning. You can spend your entire life trying to feel ready to share your gifts with the world, but what if you gave up on feeling completely ready and just started today? If you haven't seen part one, I highly recommend. This is what it's about. This card comes forward with a rainbow activation to help you shine your true colors. There are many different facets and aspects of your soul. Oh, to your soul. Some you have kept hidden, and some are easy for you to express. The rainbow light is beckoning you to bring your prismatic light out of hiding. Mm. Revel in the fullness of your gifts today, and don't downplay those that are natural for you to express. For me, it's my voice. I could I could sit here and talk shit all day, and by talk shit I mean talk God, talk spirit, talk honestly. It doesn't really matter, but I can do it more intentionally so than just like talking my mom or my dad or my friend's ear off for 5 hours a day, or my therapist. Revel in the fullness of your gifts today and don't downplay those that are natural for you to express. So, even like singing, I feel like so many of us are so pulled to sing when we're in the shower or when we're alone. And that's because our voice is such a powerful way for us to move energy, right? As we were just talking about in part one, um, like releasing, expressing stuck energy, right? Emotion, energy, emotion. So our voice, right? That's why communication is also so significant in relationships, is saying, this is how I feel, because it's communicating, it's expressing the emotion in the body, and that's something that is so powerful when we do it intentionally and with grace um for all parties involved. you know our voice was meant to make change and I want to say radical change and liberate and trigger, and because that's what helps us move. And I know so many of us, that's why music is so powerful, and every human in the world, I don't know one human that doesn't like music. I'm sure there's one out there, maybe, I don't know, but it's it's a universal language because it's the art of expression. And that's why there's a piece of music for every person in the world. There's something for everyone that they resonate with. So for some people that's jazz, for some people that's metal, for different parts of my emotional wheel, it's drum and bass and dubstep or country. And just kidding, I don't listen to country very much. um or affirmation music or meditation music, or like right now I just have like resonance sounds on in the back room, and like vocal like ethereal like music, because it helps me, excuse me, It's helping me in my unraveling in this space. So I think part of this tapping into our gifts and why this is all unraveling and coming up right now could be to allow ourselves to lean into what feels good. If it's music, it's actually quite funny the way this me setting up here in this moment unraveled was I set up my DJ equipment for the first time in a while. I'm not a DJ. I've been a closet DJ. I mean that in the most loving and unconditionally loving terms. I just didn't DJ out of my house. Uh, so I called it being a closet DJ. And I've probably been doing it for like 5 years or something now. Anyways, it's just something that I deeply enjoy, and I also haven't quite had the confidence to take into. I've had a couple opportunities, but anyways, it hasn't worked out yet. Blah blah blah. And I started playing music, and that's because the other day I was at a friend's house. Their roommate has his setup in his room, and he always DJs with his door open, and I was like, what kind of da 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 da? Yeah. And it kind of just lit that fire back up in me again, and then so today I just was like, you know what? I'm feeling like this is gonna help me move some stuff. Sometimes it's a blast from the past, going down old memory lane with your old tracks and your your old playlists too, so that always helps light a little bit of fire. And then I felt called to have a chat with spirit and was doing some cards and listening in um and then I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I think it's quite we can just get there. We can just get to that place where it's like, I just have to do this. Either whether it's like you mean to or not. I think we're at that point, or we're getting to that point, or we're there. I don't know. I'm definitely there. I'm here. Hello. You know? Okay, moving on. Many times in your life, you have doubted if you truly carried anything special, and this card is telling you that you were made to step up onto the proverbial stage. You hold unique and diverse abilities. The rainbow medicine pulls this forward, inviting you to choose your sacred path. I'm really having a hard time getting it out while I'm reading that too. It's almost as if there's different words wanting to come out as I'm saying that. So that's kind of funny. The world often tries to dim or suppress the most natural elements of your soul. That's kind of what it feels like is going on in there. Like something is trying to dim it. And I have to just like hold the line. Hold the line as it's being expressed. Maybe because the generational um pattern. And I was thinking about this I was seeing this visual earlier today where it was just like this chord and it was like grandma, mom, me, little sister, and then grandma's mom and her mom and her grandma and her mom, and there's this line, there was like this cord through each of us connecting us on this like timeline. And it was very like ethereal, like we were all in like soul form, like ghosts. And I could see like why me and my sister especially, and when I heal I see my sister and my mom heal, and I'm saying like what my sister in front of me and my mother behind me, because that's what it is on the timeline in the vision. Hopefully I painted the picture. um but when I heal with that part of me, this deep feminine wounding, I'm healing it in my ancestral line. Where is it going with that? The world often tries to dim or suppress the most natural elements of your soul. So coming back to what I was saying, whenever I veered off lane, there is a really deep, oh shoot, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to move the camera. I have to stretch my leg out, but there's nowhere for it to go. Haha. Sorry. That's the pattern. There's a pattern in generational lines, whatever you're breaking in your life right now. There is ancestral, generational, bloodline patterns, trauma that you are breaking right now. If you're here, if you're in this space, this very sacred space, that is definitely probably what's going on if you felt called to this video. And so you're going to feel that pattern of the dimming. You know, if we've had our, say, our mom or our dad and their mom or dad and their mom or dad or their mom or dad, and it just goes on where they have just been suppressed and taught to go to school and do it like this and work 8-hour days and wait for your pension until you're too old to even play and have fun and, you know, just to like feed the machine. And just think of how long we've been in this feeding the machine cycle, like feeding the only the 3D world where we barely take care of our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. But now we're at a point where we're actually forced in human society to pay attention to what's going on in the mind and in the heart because, well, like emotionally, because a lot of us aren't okay. We're ridden with mental illness. And so, where am I going? Shoot, so sorry. Oh, I did it again. Hopefully I'm not messing this up too much. We're on a cool angle here. How about now? This better. Ugh. Okay. So, where was I? Bring forward the light and playful energy of your child self. Oh yeah, so the pattern that we're breaking, so it's okay if you're like if you feel this resistance in your body. That resistance is like your grandma or grandpa's grandma's grandpa's grandma's grandpa's grandpa's. You know what I'm saying? And we are just in this generational time and human evolutionary time, prophetic. We're moving through a prophetic awakening on planet Earth. And so it's hard. It's hard to grapple. It's hard to grapple it and speak it out loud. I feel like it's just so beyond what we can wrap our head around because it's so big. There's no freaking way we can wrap our little brains around. Like the consciousness that we're tapping into and the level that we are gaining access to as a human society is not, it's so big, like our little human brain is inside of it. They're all inside of it. All of our little human brains, all 8 billion of them are in this one big brain that we're trying to wrap our heads around. I don't know where that came from, but I'll take it. Bring forward the light and playful energy of your child self, allowing yourself to feel the full spectrum, to feel the full spectrum, the full color spectrum of your spirit and the rainbow nature of your heart. Your presence is powerful. It's time to claim your beautiful hue. It's time to claim your beautiful hue. Oh, and I was gonna come here. I was like, nope, it's not perfect. And Spirit said to me, or I said to myself, I'm not sure who it came from. I said, what if it was just fun? What if I can actually like do what I love to do, which is to get in this little pocket, I call it my little like fun pocket, and I could just talk about what feels good to talk about. And I can sit here and I can vape. It's actually not a vape. It's a purifier. Pure? Pure? I'm not branding or anything, but I like things that smoke. And this is vitamin B12. Tastes like watermelons. They're like vitamin or diffusers. And why not? Why not be so real in my own space where I am just quite unhinged a little bit. Things are a little bit they are. They just are. And if it's a little bit messy, it's not messy. It's clean. It's messy to me. And things got to be out of their place. And I slip on my tea, sip on my tea. Wow. I've been putting my peanut butter in cacao. So good. Okay, moving on. The sacred ceremony for the rainbow activation card. Authenticity. What if that's just it? That's the answer right there. I'm gonna show you guys this card. One sec. Ready? Oh, it's very dark where there's no light over there. It's just the window. Sorry. Anyways, you can kind of see. Oh my gosh, if I hold it right there, it's like it's my body. Oh, so funny. Does it look like I'm wearing the dress? Um, Authenticity. What if that was just it? We could just show up in our most authentic selves. And I can actually relax here. Maybe my posture. I gotta move my position because my back is getting cranky. But maybe that's just it. Is when this video got cut off earlier, it was like resistance and blah blah blah. And they were like, that's enough. And I was like, no, it's not. Because now it's feeding. But when it stops feeding, like in this moment, maybe I'm feeling more restriction. Excuse me, and resistance, my body is saying, hey, okay, it's time to get up. We've been up here for too long. It's time to go stretch our legs and, get ready for bed. But then I get all excited and I'm in it, and my little child just wants to. It's like once you put the shoes on to go for the run, if you like to run, once you start, you're not going to want to stop. So our struggle is starting. Just start, whatever that is for you. If it's a YouTube channel, gosh darn, do it. Set up your phone, put your Apple earbuds in, or something with a microphone. You probably don't even need it if you're in a small or just like non-echoed room, right? Your phone camera and your microphone have some of the best recording than you're gonna get out of any other camera. And focus, like I bought this one that you're looking at on Amazon for $60 and it doesn't focus. And so, anyways, what I'm saying is you probably already have the tools. Sorry, this really isn't working for me. I gotta go, you guys. But you have the tools. You have the tools. So we're going to do this sacred ceremony together before I. If you want to take a deep breath with me, I just need to stretch that puppy out. Okay. Sacred ceremony. A loving ancestor from your lineage steps forward and holds a crystal in their hands. So this is a visualization exercise. So I'd take a deep breath, invite you to close your eyes and sink into the words that I speak. A loving ancestor from your lineage steps forward and holds a crystal in their hands. They hold it up to the sun, and there is a rainbow prism that reflects onto the earth before you. This ancestor was someone who held unique gifts. Some may have called them quirky or different. However, they own their unique ways of being in the world. They invite you to stand in the entire spectrum of rainbow light reflected upon the ground. As you step into it, you receive a heightened sense of courage to live your life authentically, radiating your true colors. Healing affirmation. I walk in sacred relationship with my true colors. It's effortless to express the fullness of who I am. And that, my friends, is what's going to make you a lot of money, bring you a lot of joy, and make you feel fulfilled at the deepest level. It's inside of you. And that is truth. That is the biggest truth. I'll just let you look at this card one more time. Holding her hands on her heart. I really want to match my face to her. I can't, but anyways. And for some reason, I just looked at my little snake on my leg there. I thought it was a turtle. I was like, oh, I didn't know I had a turtle tattoo. But maybe turtles are significant. Maybe snakes are significant. Snake shedding its skin. Maybe you're going through the final shed. That's what I'm hearing. Final shed. It's the final shed. Overnight transformation, past life medicine, remembering on the bottom of the deck, remembering your past life medicine, the medicines that you used to give in past lives. So the full color spectrum of your authentic self is like all of these medicines. You could say all of these past life medicines. Say in every life we gained like one really, really, really solid skill within ourselves, within our um like psychic senses, and now they're all coming together. This is the lifetime where they're all coming together. Storytelling, connection, storytelling. Do you see this lady telling her stories like I am right here? That's me. That's me, and perhaps that's also you. Telling our stories is healing. Telling our stories is activating, using, speaking, telling stories in general about whatever you want to tell stories about. Maybe that's just it. Maybe we all have a voice for something. Maybe we all have a voice for something. And maybe that something to you is fish. I'm seeing like aquariums, and or maybe it's the bad things that go on in like SeaWorld, and you want to bring awareness to that, and telling those stories and your knowledge of what's going on there is going to help people, is going to help eventually help those dolphins, right? Because people don't know that we need change unless it's brought into their attention. So talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about what you love. Talk about what you don't love. If that's what you love to do. But wherever your heart is and wherever it carries you and wherever you can sit for hours, the only reason I can't sit anymore is because my body is like, we're not comfortable. And it's bedtime. But wherever that is for you, that is like destiny path. And by following that, there's all these things outside of us. I have, oh my gosh, 100 text messages a day from, I don't know if they're clients or employers or past clients or spontaneous clients, or I have a few businesses and I work a lot of different jobs. And so I have, like 3 employers, and I have um, four four clients for my cleaning business, and or 6 or 8. I don't know. I don't know anymore. And then I'm trying to quit. Trying to quit my cleaning business right now. So I don't care anymore. I'm handing it over. Anyways, and then I have like 5 clients for my spiritual biz because I don't entertain it very much, and I have to put it all into these other businesses that drain my life force energy. Anyways, go to part 1 if you haven't seen that. The things that are draining your life force energy, which is also draining your bank account, even if it's feeding your bank account, is technically draining your emotional, spiritual, metaphysical, bank account, and health is wealth. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Okay. But what I'm getting to, what am I getting to? What am I getting to? It's time. That's what I'm getting to. It's time. It's time. It's time. Yep. It's time. It's time. It's time to just do the gosh darn thing. Even if you're crooked, even if your camera isn't sitting straight, even if your microphone is being weird and you have no storage on your computer, even if just start. Because just that start will lead you to the next step and the next step. And that's all we need. We don't need the whole 10 steps. We just need one. And if that is making a service list, if that is quitting this job, if that is saying no to this relationship that's sucking the life force out of me. And trust me, I know it's not easy. I know it's probably some of the excruciating choices, the most excruciating choices we have to make in this life is the ones that we've been taught are what are good for us, but then leaning into what we feel is actually good for us and feel that our truth is seeing that pull us in a completely different direction and having to lead with that and faith and trust and not really knowing until we get to the other side or we start to see the results of that. And it's not as immediate as getting a job that pays 25 bucks an hour or 50 bucks an hour. It's not as immediate as getting that 2-week paycheck. Maybe. Maybe you quit and there has to be some space in between for you to recover. And naturally, we want everything to be all organized and aligned. And then we don't get it when we just, as an example, I leapt with faith. I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this for my well-being. These two individual jobs that I do, they gotta go immediately. And I did. I cut them out. I I I gave 3 days notice, which is very unlike me, and I like to be professional, and I get it doesn't always work that way, but what I did, because it just felt like an absolute must, it was a non-negotiable at that point. Like I felt like I was actually getting really ill continuing out. Um, and so I set something up and I said, listen, I'm gonna have my partner, my business partner, take over from here. She's going to take over and fully cover you, but I need to step back. And so it wasn't like I just left them hanging. And maybe I get that's not easy for all positions, but there's always some level of negotiation you can do that also meets your immediate needs. And don't wait for it to get to like something like cancer or something that is life threatening for you to finally be like, oh, shoot, should have left sooner, you know? I didn't follow that niggle or that call or this little sense inside of me that maybe this is hurting me more than it's helping me. And and with that said, I'm not saying, if it doesn't feel aligned, if it feels aligned where you are, then absolutely be there. Absolutely be there. If it's something that's feeding you life force energy or, you know, in some way it is. But don't try to convince yourself it is if it's not. And so these are things like this is where we have to lean into these parts of ourselves and really learn to find the courage within to trust our deeper senses because we're tapping into greater realities beyond just 3D. there's 5D, there's 7D. I don't quite understand other than just from like a very spiritual perspective and like a downloaded perspective. I don't actually know the science of it and of any of it. I just know 3D is like this is my 3D. The body. My body is in the 3D, okay? My 5D is like the feelings that I experience almost outside of my body. And the 7D is not, it doesn't feel like it's this plane, but it feels like it's something that we tap into when you get into flow state or you get into creative state. Like I'm probably in it right now. Like it's when your brain goes into that alpha or theta, right? Or I would say alpha, and then when it goes into delta, that's probably, I don't know, do we have a 10D? Is that what dream world is? I don't know. Anyways, there's different levels to this shit. We all know that there's levels to this shit. And and that's a pretty easy truth to come to conclusion to when you've experienced death. And I don't mean you died. Maybe you did. Maybe you almost came close to death. That's another activation in itself. But when you also experience death in around you, because for some reason, when we experience death, I feel like it makes us closer to that other side, because we want to feel close to those who have left us, or at least that's how I would interpret, and how I chose to handle grief was I just brought myself to them. I was like, fine, you leave my world, I'm coming to yours, and we're gonna hang out, and I would invite them in. Um, I have my brother from another mother, Braden, that is on my wall over here, and he's he's always there. He's always around, and I can invite him in and I can communicate with him, and this isn't something that I've been able to do my whole life. I don't think I had this dialed in when I was 4. I wasn't up there talking to Jesus and the dead people. No. But on a very spiritual level, for me to move through life with more grace, spirituality felt required. It actually felt necessary to help me get out of some of the greatest sufferings that I've experienced, and I don't know that anything other than something bigger than just my little world and my little experience of pain that I was navigating, or even sometimes immense suffering. I really truly like suffering was my doorway into something bigger, into like the desire to want to believe that there's something much, much deeper happening than just this storm. Um, and I think when you suffer enough, that'll drive you to that point, because it's a fantastic place to have nowhere else to go but within. And it really takes some of the greatest pain to do it. It takes some of the greatest and deepest pain to do it. But once you get there and you wave the white flag of surrender and you get on your hands and knees and you pray. And I don't mean literally, but maybe metaphorically, like where you really just stop fighting whatever it is that you're fighting and you put it down. You put it down and you say, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I can't get out without you. I can't get out without leaning into something greater than just me and this problem, me and this anger, or me and this suffering. And you start to zoom out, because in the zooming out, you're not just you in mere suffering, and it just in that endless pit. You become aware that there is something much, much deeper in the unfolding. And it is quite possible for you to come out on the other end okay. Wow. There's a lot coming through. So much I want to say. Jesus' mouth on my big painting here, I swear it just moved. Or I'm just getting real tired. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. If you've been here, wow, I feel like I just got back. Like I just took a nap. Was in the channel. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I love you all so much. I hope you have a very blessed rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Um, yeah, it really helps. Really helps spread the love. And that's what we're here to do. That is what we're here to do. So thank you again. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.